The town of Ashford was a kind of place where nothing much happened. The streets were quiet after dark, the doors locked early, and people preferred not to talk about the strange history buried under the cobblestones. But if you asked the right person and they trusted you enough, they might tell you about the church. St. Bartholomew's had been standing for over 2 centuries, a monument of stone and faith, its tall spire rising above the treetops like a watchtower over the town. It was beautiful by day, stained glass windows catching the sunlight and scattering in crimson and gold across the wooden pews. But after the last evening prayer, when the candles were snuffed out and the heavy oak doors locked, something about the church changed. Father Michael, the parish priest, had grown used to the usual noises of the building, with settling, pipes groaning, wind rattling the old shutters. But on a stormy October night, he heard something new. At first, it was so faint he thought it was the wind slipping through cracks in the old stone walls. A low, rhythmic murmur, like distant voices speaking in unison. He told himself it was nothing, just his mind playing tricks after too long a day. But the sound came again, louder this time, and it wasn't coming from outside, it was coming from beneath the floor. He grabbed a lantern and descended the narrow spiral staircase into the church basement. The air grew colder with each step, the damp stone walls closing around him. Down here, the whispers were clearer, layered voices, male and female, some deep, some high-pitched, all speaking a language he didn't understand. It wasn't prayer. It wasn't anything human. The basement was a maze of storage rooms and forgotten corridors. He followed the sound to the farthest wall, where a massive iron door stood hidden behind stacks of dusty books. It was old, older than the church itself. The iron was warped with age, its hinges coated in thick rust, but when he placed his hand on it, it was ice cold, as if it had been carved from winter itself. There was no keyhole, only 3 heavy locks bolted across the front. Father Michael hesitated. He could leave right now, lock up, pretend none of this was happening. But something about the whispers pulled at him, like invisible fingers curling around his thoughts. He fetched a crowbar from the tool shed. The first lock snapped open with a metallic scream. The whispers grew louder. The second lock fell, clattering to the stone floor. He could almost make out words now, though they were wrong, twisted, not meant for human tongues. The third lock gave way, and the door creaked open into total darkness. Inside, the air was heavier, thicker, as if the room hadn't been open in centuries. A single candle flickered in the center, though there was no one there to light it. The floor was carved with strange symbols burned deep into stone. Circles within circles, lines like jagged scars. At the center sat a small wooden box, no larger than a book, its surface etched with the same markings. Father Michael stepped inside. The moment his foot crossed the threshold, the candle flame bent toward him, as if drawn by his breath. The whispers stopped. The silence was sudden, absolute, and then 3 slow knocks from somewhere inside the box. He froze. The sound came again. Knock, knock, knock. It was deliberate, measured, as though something was waiting for him to answer. His hands trembled as he reached for the box. It was warm to the touch, unnaturally warm. When he lifted it, the candle's flame swelled, stretching taller, flickering wildly. A deep, resonant hum filled the air, vibrating through the floor. Then the door behind him slammed shut. The iron locks snapped back into place on their own. The candle went out. Darkness swallowed him whole. He felt movement around him, shapes brushing past his shoulders, cold breath against his ear. And then a voice, low and guttural, spoke in perfect English. "You've come just like the others." The ground shifted under his feet, tilting as though the floor itself were sinking. The stone walls seemed to stretch away into shadow. And then silence again. Upstairs, the church bell rang 12 times, though no one was there to ring it. When the congregation arrived that Sunday morning, the church was locked from the inside. Father Michael was gone. The police searched for days, but no one could explain how a man could vanish inside a building with no open doors or windows. Today, the church stands abandoned. Its doors are chained shut, its windows boarded. But sometimes, late at night, passers-by swear they see a faint candlelight flicker behind the stained glass. And if you dare to press your ear to the walls, you'll hear it, the whispers calling for someone to come back. Thank you for joining me for this chilling journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this story and would like to hear more mysteries, legends, and tales that keep you thinking long after they end, I'd be truly honored if you subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep these stories alive and brings even more adventures your way. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what you think happened beneath St. Bartholomew's. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next story.